Hi everyone, Matt here, and today we are playing HiveSwap FriendSim. When we last left off, we started Volume 12 and went Tyrona's route. And now we are going with Gallic's route. This is going to be so fun. It's a chilly night, not in a bad way though. It's the kind of crisp air that invigorates you. Invigorates you? You think you might just fuck around and make a new friend. You're busy breathing in a big old lung full of stuff when you hear someone call out behind you. Excuse me, alien, I would like a word. It's phrased like a request but delivered like a command. You don't recognize the voice, so you do some mental calculations as you turn. Whoever it is seems like they know who you are, which could be good or really, really bad. You could make it to Zebra's hive in a few blocks if you had to make a run for it. That's not exactly a place you'd like to take sanctuary, though, so you figure the risk of talking to this mystery troll is worth it. By the time you've rotated around to face them, you've got a big friendly grin on. It's a bit of work to keep it there when you see who it is. Tall, sharp suit, well filled out. Curly hair, cute little Christmas tree looking horns, and an expression that screams, would pay someone to biscuit you if you call anything about him cute. It's a good thing you didn't choose to run, because last time you saw this guy, he was sprinting away from your sparkly self at top speeds. You'd have no chance. He strides toward you now with considerably less fear, but about as much purpose. Playing it friendly, you hold out your hand for him to shake it. He takes it immediately, like it's an instinct. Yes, I am Gallic Zig. You are the alien. Nice to meet you officially, etc., etc. It is imperative that we speak, as it is a matter of some importance. I hope you will take my request seriously and follow me to my hive, where we can talk more openly. It is in your best interest to comply. Well, okay then, we got a wordy motherfucker over here, huh? A short and sweet, hey, let's hang out would have worked on your friend thirsty self, but that's fine. You don't have anything else to be doing, so why not follow this pushy high-blood back to his house? Wonderful. This way. He stays true to his word, doesn't say anything else as he leads you toward his hive. But you watch the way he clenches his teeth and flicks his eyes back at you as he walks. He's about to explode, holding it all in. You walk a little slower just to bask in the need emanating off him. Still dizzy with the feeling of having your presence wanted so badly, trip a bit heading up a wide flight of stairs. And there are a lot of them. Jesus, he could have warned you at least. You look up as you pull yourself to your feet. The stairs lead to an old stone building, covered with ivy that creeps around some pointy-topped windows and up to the top of the turrets. It looks like the kind of place a crusty old professor might walk out of, followed by a flock of khaki-clad rich boys. The door opens with a creak. You do not hear anyone debating the difference between a movie and a film in there, but you do hear bleeding? Sounds reasonable. Once inside, Gallic beckons you through the foyer and into another room, this time unlatching what looks like a very tall metal baby gate to let you both in. He checks the latch twice after he shuts it, then gestures to a pair of studded high-backed chairs on either side of the fire. Please, take a seat. I will make us some coffee. You will not have had any like this before, as the taste is drastically different from the slop you get from a public coffee shop. You do take that seat, and look and look around while he fucks with an antique espresso machine. He has a desk covered in papers, open books, and a typewriter. And along the walls there are bookshelves leading up to the vaulted ceiling. Everything has an air of purposeful messiness to it. Like he pulled some of his cooler titles to leave laying around for you to see. How flattering. You mentioned that this must be one of those personal jerk-off book hives Tizius was talking about. Excuse me? Oh, never mind. You clear your throat and ask him what he wanted to talk about. Hands you a cup and sits down in the other chair. Of course, I just wanted to clear up a misunderstanding between us. You may be under the false impression that I am uninformed re the attributes of rainbow drinkers. You may even think that you successfully fooled me into thinking you were one yourself when we first met. I just had not previously encountered one in real life, nor had I ever seen an alien for that matter. Furthermore, when I saw you, you were in the company of one Tagora Gorjek. I was making the most reasonable assumption possible, given the information I had available. It makes complete sense if you think about it. He looks at you expectantly. Oh, you guess it's your turn to say something. Is that, all? Man, what the fuck is this guy talking about? You thought whatever he wanted was going to be a way bigger deal. You want to get this straight, you say. He dragged you all the way here under a thick veil of secrecy just so he could tell you he knows what he's talking about? That he was actually right and not wrong. Smart and not dumb. Specifically about rainbow drinkers? Yes. Is this confusing to you? You cannot have people thinking incorrect things about me. Cool, no, you were just checking. You tapped your fingers on the leather arm of the chair. Is that all he wanted from you? Oh, yes, I suppose, as long as we are in agreement, and you do not intend to spread any misinformation. Promise. That is great news. There's a long pause. He looks disappointed somehow. You're not sure if this is what he was expecting, but it sure as hell is what is transpiring. I will show you out. Aw, man. Well, I don't give a shit, my dude. You laugh and then realize he's 100% serious. He really cares that much what you think about him. Reminds you a bit of you a few months ago. Or, a few days ago. Still, you know what it's like. You try to tread the line between humoring him and easing him out of having to care that fucking much. You tell him you'd like him even if he was a complete rube. A total rainbow drinking lore idiot if his incompetence knew no bounds. I get it. Oh heck. If the barely contained panic in his eyes is any indication, he isn't at all placated by that. You cut off that line of friend finagling and try something you hope is a little more his speed. Must be cool to have a primary source sitting in his own jerk-off book hive, though, right? He exhales, gathering himself a little. I'm not sure why you keep calling it that, but I do admit I am interested in the chance to learn more about you. His fingers twitch. You hope he doesn't mean in the, creepy dissection way. You are free to leave, right? You glance anxiously at the locked baby gate. What? Of course you can leave. Just because I am a high-blood does not mean I am a fucking sadist. My interest in you is purely academic and friendly. Furthermore, that gate is not for you. You do definitely worry about it. But not in a present, actionable way. Just in the sort of under-the-surface, self-preservation way you worry about. You know, everything that's tried to end your run here on Alternium so far. Plus, he offered you friendship. You'll reach your heart into that monkey trap any day. Hell yeah, then. You throw your arms out, toss your head, and tell him you're all ready to be studied and subsequently friended. Gallic doesn't pounce right on that, though. Mostly he looks uncomfortable, which doesn't stop him from talking. I do have considerable interest in understanding the pathos of the alien. What I really want to know is what makes you so magnetic. All observable observable criteria points to you not being much to look at. But there seems to be something about you that draws people in. Words. Ugh. That isn't even on the top 10 list of insults you've heard since landing, so you brush it off just fine. Plus, you have it on good authority that your legs are nice. Flex those bad girls in order to give yourself a little self-esteem boost. I was wondering if you have an visceral status, but the more I learn about you, the more difficult it becomes to make any sense of your plans. Accounts of your activities contradict each other at almost every turn. You are either the most suave and well-connected potentiary I have ever heard of, or you are running around with no clue what you're doing and somehow it works out for you anyway. You mean, it's worked before? A low, frustrated clicking rumbles in his throat. He puts his coffee aside and crosses his legs. This is the sort of thing I am talking about. I know all about your antics, leg-based and otherwise. I just cannot work out what the draw is. Why do people like this? He seems pretty fixated on this. I wonder if perhaps he has some hidden reason for wanting to know why other trolls might be into your freaky little self. Some sort of personal interest in another troll's friendship decisions and inclinations and interests. Just, maybe. Wait for him to blush, but he doesn't. He does start talking very quickly, though. First of all, I do not know what you mean by that. I do not base my self-worth on anything so external. Hypothetically, if I did happen to be invested in what someone else thought of me, I would not tell you about it. Furthermore, just because I am not a freak does not mean I do not have desirable traits. I think he'd probably keep going forever, now that he's starting to let it all out. But there's a sound behind you that shuts him the fuck up. Both turn to see his Lucis, big scruffy goat, gently headbutting the baby gate. Looks extremely friendable. Let's stay on topic. Please ignore him. He just wants to get in here and cause problems. Think hard to yourself about this. You really want to go pet the big goat dad, but you want to dish about this guy's love life even more. You've heard about some about this situation from the other side, of course. But you really shouldn't let Gallic know that Tagora tells you about their tentative and awkward pitchish flirtation. Unless, helps you get more friends. No, you slap your own cheek to snap yourself out of it. No secret spilling. Gak leans away from you against the back of his chair. Fuck, you are really not doing anything to change my impression of you. You have an idea, so you cut him off before he can monologue you to death. You tell him that it sounds to you like what's really bothering him, a regular non-freaky guy, is that he's jealous of your free-spirited friendability. He wants what you've got. He glares at you, his breathing quickening. Ooh yeah, hit a nerve. I do not want anything of yours. Interrupting him. It's worked pretty well so far, so you try it again. Let's cut the shit, you say. There's no reason for him to hide anything from you. First of all, you already promised to like him no matter what. Secondly, you know what it's like to want to impress someone. Finally, you know all about how to be a huge motherfucking weirdo. So, why doesn't he let you show him to walk on the wild side? He can take a few pointers from Alternia's biggest freak. You can see the ensuing makeover montage already. And you start bouncing a bit in your seat. I have zero interest in... Okay, that won't do it. He tried one more tactic. Telling him, you guess he doesn't mind not knowing shit about how to be a freak. Old Gallic, they'll all say. Smart at how to be boring and a real big dumbass about weird stuff. Ah, I see what you're doing. Stands to reason that allowing you to broaden my horizons with your alien ways will only serve to increase my cultural competence. Great, so what it'll be? Shopping for a new, more casual suit or something wilder? Spicy undergarments? Dyeing your hair? Other weirdy body mod? Gallic's eyebrows shoot up. The last one sounds interesting. Wow, he's really ready to go whole ass, huh? You weren't expecting that from this guy. But you guess maybe he was waiting for an excuse to try something. That or he really can't deal with not being Alternia's biggest obnoxious know-it-all. Go big or get cold, as they say. Damn, that probably is what they say. Anyway, you can't wait to get this show on the road. You tell him you even know a guy that can probably help him out. Will he be discreet? I'm willing to leap into this, but I do need to protect my privacy, of course. Oh, for sure. You mean, like, probably. His brow furrows, either at your continued interruption of it, either at your continued interruption or your hesitance. So you waste no more time and whip out your palm husk. Pull up the secret gripe profile you got Malik to make so you could keep in touch, and you call him up. What's up, Robo-Buddy? You get right into it and tell him you made a new friend who's looking to get a new hole put in him. Behind you, you hear Gallic choke on his coffee. Artistically, an aesthetic hole. Gallic shrugs weakly, his eyes still wide. Or something similar. Hell yeah, anything for you, bud. Alec's eyes dart from your face to the room behind you. You're not sure how much he can see through the screen, though. My gear? Easy to pack, so I'll be over soon. I'll bring options. Start to give him directions, but he stops you. Don't worry, I know exactly where you are. Palm husk, low-jacked. Figured you'd be cool with that. See you soon. Alec hangs up. You grin at Gallic to reassure him that this sure seems like a manageable situation. He offers you more coffee, which you take because you are a polite guest. Gallic starts IDing in a small leather-bound notebook, so you mostly watch, listen to him explain the brainstorming process, take sips, and wish that the goat would come back. Eventually, you hear soft footsteps approaching. Gallic jumps when Malik opens the baby gate. How did you get in the front door? I hacked it. Gallic's mouth opens and shuts a few times. His eyes dart between your and Malik's matching hoodies. Just kidding. Your operation, pretty low tech for an indigo, unfortunately. Your Lucis let me in. Anyway, I'm Malik. From behind him, a proud bleating. Hell yes! Gallic looks around and wrings his hands. There's a lot going on all of a sudden. He points to you. You, alien, hold on to my Lucis. He cannot be unsupervised. Eyes in here or he will eat everything. As for you, Malik, hello. My name is Gallic Zidisi. Welcome to my hive. That problem. I hear you want to get freaky. Gallic tugs at the bottom of his suit jacket, straightening it reflexively. Poor dude. You want to tell him you're proud of him for going so far out of his depth. But he seems to be holding his own here. Plus, the goat really wants to make a snack out of some old paperbacks. You take your job seriously and hold on tight to his neck. Yes, that is correct. I hear you have the tools to help me achieve this. I'm open to a wide range of modifications. My notebook has some sketches. You want to dutifully look and not touch too. But wrangling a big goat is a full-time job. Malik holds up the notebook for you both to see. Wow, Gallic's not a bad artist, actually. Still, you have to kind of turn your head and squint to make out what's going on in a couple of sketches. You guess there are still a few surprises left for you in the brave new world of troll anatomy, huh? Point to the sketch you like best with one hand as you scramble to keep hold of a fistful of wiggly Lucis fur with the other. Yeah, I can work with that. Hell yeah, button up, get some layers off. Gallic flicks his eyes to you and you give him a big supportive thumbs up. You look politely away when he starts taking off his jacket. Instead, you focus on your job. And oh, you have some pocket snacks. Pull out some mostly not bruised fruit and offer it to Gallic's Lucis. He chomps it up readily, calms down a bit. Geez, can't Gallic afford food for this guy? He eats plenty. Gallic doesn't take off his undershirt, but he does roll up the bottom of it before leaning his forearms against the back of one of the chairs, exposing the broad palate of his hips and back. That design does capture an infallible facet of my core self. Get going on it. I assume I do not need to spell out any potential consequences if you stray from the artistic vision, correct? Mark rolls his eyes and pulls out a tattoo gun. Looks mostly how they do on Earth, but with a strip of greenish, almost biological light. Don't worry, your blood color crystal clear. Gallic winces at the first press of the gun to his skin. Or maybe it's lasers? There's a glow happening back there. With the lucis sated, you're free to see what's going on, so you climb into the chair Gallic's leaning against the back of, and peek over to watch. So what's the deal with this, anyway? Tattoos don't seem much like your vibe. There is no specific reason. I'm simply fleshing out my worldly experiences, gaining visceral knowledge of a new kind. He's checking off something from his bucket list, he helpfully adds. Gallic flushes bright blue and jerks backwards, screeching like you haven't heard since you first met and traumatized him. Oh boy, you have no idea how, but that was apparently extremely the wrong thing to say. Watch it. You're going to make me fuck up your ineffable vision. No need to flip your think pan. Gotta do what it takes to find a bucket buddy. I've been there. Gallic stares decidedly into the middle distance as he breathes in and out and repositions himself against the chair. This is extremely not what this is about. I am perfectly capable of fulfilling my propagational duties. This is not a thing I have to do, it's a thing I want to do. If it happens to spark interest, so be it. Yeah, whatever. I don't judge. You only have the barest grasp at what they're discussing here. But things are starting to click into place. You don't want to embarrass your potential new friend by calling him out on his crush even further, or by implying he can't find anyone to fill a quadrant with. You tell Malik that Gallic is making his decisions based on his own personal emotion. No self-educating journey. That's all. Yes, that is the heart of it. Exactly. Alex smiles at you. And it's crooked and stiff on his face like he hadn't expected to put it there. You smile back and place your hand on top of his white-knuckled against the back of the chair. He winces in pain only once more before Malik steps back, tilting his head to admire his handiwork. That'll do. Gallic rolls his shoulders and twists his body around to check his new ink. Satisfied, he turns to extend his hand to Malik. Thank you for your time on such short notice. Would you like to say to... Malik shakes his hand and cuts him off there. No thanks. Not much for the after party. See you around, Robo Bud. Nice to you bun up. Tosses the gear back in his bag and nods at you both. On his way out, he pats the goat's head. Now placid. One new friend is enough for one day, I suppose. Thank you for encouraging me to try something new. A student, I still do not completely understand you, but your penchant for flinging yourself wholeheartedly into precarious situations is fascinating. That is what you do best. You grin uncontrollably at the compliment. I might try employing that tactic a bit more in my daily life. If it will lead to newer, deeper grasp of the troll condition, as such, I have 2 confessions for you. He takes a deep breath and gets the rest out all in one go. 1, I knew only an elementary amount of information about rainbow drinkers before I met you. And 2, the reason for my frond-hinged jerk reaction at that time was because of my Gorjek-shaped blind spot. You graciously do not let on that those are two of the most obvious pieces of information you've ever encountered. Gallic clears his throat and thrusts his palm husk toward you. Now that we have taken care of that, take a photo. He turns around, and you lovingly set up the shot. On his hip bone is the modest rendition of his sign, in indigo, of course. It's framed by 2 sprigs of pine. Cross under it is a V. Cross under it in a V. The look on his face as he turns back over his shoulder for the camera is the most self-satisfied thing you've ever seen. When you hand Gallic his palm husk back, he fucks with it for a minute, then it starts buzzing with notification after notification. He looks up to you, smile creeping into the corner of his mouth. He bites it back like he is not sure what to do with the undefinable happiness he is experiencing. He hates it. Victory. Feed the beast. As much fun as it is to get monologued at, you opt for a change in pace and ask Gallic if this goat is a good boy. If you call breaking into my book hive and eating important chapters of my manuscript good, then yes, he's the best. He sighs when he says it, a mix of frustrated and fond. Pull an apple-adjacent fruit from your hoodie pouch. You never know when you might have to spend the day hiding in an alley, so pocket snacks that don't make you puke are extremely useful. You offer it to Lucius, and he uses his teeth and tongue to pull it to him through a hole in the gate. Nice. Don't have to have a crisis about whether or not you should allow him in the room, because once he's swallowed the snack, he trots back down the hallway. You mosey over toward Gallic, plop back down in the chair, and let him know you're ready to get this fact exchange party started. Wonder to yourself what kind of information actually exists about aliens. You mean humans. On Alternia, the fact that you have started thinking of yourself as the alien is mostly fine, you figure. It's what trolls vibe with, which is what you're all about, in the end. But it would be cool, maybe, to hear about the history of humankind from their perspective. You've been curious, and if anyone would know, it'd be this fucking nerd. So you ask. There's absolutely nothing. I've read all kinds of reports on other alien races, of course. I can pull those for you if you would like. As for your species, I can confidently say there is no recorded history of your kind on Alternia. Oh. Wow. So you're the first of your kind to visit, huh? You flex again and brag that maybe that's the secret to why everyone is so hot for your friendship. But even Gallic can tell you you're not really feeling it. If you say so. As you are you some kind of high-blood equivalent back home? Is that why you're so friendable here? What is your planned system of government, and where do you fit into it? What are your main off-world exports? What were some defining moments in your species' development? Have you formed any bonds here that you would say fit your planet's equivalent of the quadrant system? You're not ready to take the space sat. You're not ready to take the space sat. You're too busy trying to sort through the idea that you are the literal only option for him to learn any of this shit. The only one of your kind around. Feel like the frame surrounding your life has shifted. Like everything around you zoomed out to the widest angle. With you a tiny speck in the corner, invisible to the naked eye. Maybe you should sit down. Ah, fuck, you are already sitting down. Maybe you should lie down. Crawl onto the floor, which Gallic probably won't like, but you're too busy having an existential crisis to care. God damn it, that's a lie too. You definitely still care what he thinks of you. It isn't the first time you've felt overwhelmed by your situation since you landed. It isn't even the 100th, honestly. It's just that you kind of always had a back pocket assumption that there'd be some way out of this. Sure, you're having fun making friends and allies, assembling a new wardrobe, and picking up weird survival skills. It just hadn't quite hit you that this might be all that was left for you, for real. This floor wriggling another alien friendship ritual I just do not grasp the allure of? Or are you spontaneously suffering? Please stop whatever this is. I want to answer him, but words feel so far away in the moment. Tried to call up how you crashed, or what they asked you were doing in a spaceship to begin with. Are you even a certified astronaut? Do you have an advanced degree? Do you have hands? Your vision blurs and you feel queasy. You need air, a lot of it. You run toward the closest available source, a wide window. Defenestrating yourself is maybe not the best option, but is the one you are currently the most emotionally attuned to. So that is what the fuck you do. Luckily, the panes of window open like French doors, and you're still on the first floor. You spill out the window without breaking any glass or limbs. Behind you, Gallic hollers. It still feels nice outside. You lay there and breathe in and out and try and pull your shit together. From your prone position, you can see Gallic pull one leg up over the windowsill, shake his head, then pull it back and turn away. He certainly looks fit enough to be able to manage that leap. But of course he wouldn't bother. He should give up on your hot mess of an alien self. You're fine wasting away out here like yesterday's banana peels are, anyway. You're ready to take a depression nap right then and there when you hear the front door open. Gallic is stomping toward you, flushed and fuming. He looms above you, his large frame quaking with anger. Listen here, you little maggot. I've opened my home to you. I've opened my mind to the possibility of understanding you. By multiple instances of you not offering me the same courtesy. I only wanted to correct your misconceptions about me, and to have a chance to exchange some cultural understanding. No, you sit up and promise that he's been great, the best and smartest friend you've made yet, a great host, excellent even. It's not his fault you're not clicking like you do with other people. If that were true, why would you spend this entire visit acting like a fresh-hatched idiot? At this point, I have to conclude that you are mocking me to my genuine interest in you, and there is no other explanation for your behavior. You try to explain that you were just in your feelings, but he stopped humoring you. He turns on his heels and stomps back inside. You want to hope that he'll come back, but the drive to understand outweighing the drive to be done with your sorry ass. But you know he won't. You drag yourself to your feet and start the slow, lonely walk to anywhere else. From the open window, Zeus cocks his head to the side and softly bleats his goodbyes. That end. Anyways, that will be all for this time on HiveSwap FriendSim. If you liked the video, like it, and if you want to see more of my content, subscribe. And yeah, have a good day and do what you do best.